She has everything: a sharp mind, a solid career, independence, and the ability to read people faster than they can hide their intentions. She's the type who never settles for mediocrity, the one who sees patterns, motives, and flaws in seconds. And yet, when the noise fades, when the phone stops buzzing, and when the world goes quiet, something else appears: a deep, aching loneliness. It's strange, isn't it? The very intelligence that helps her understand people so well becomes the reason she struggles to connect with them. The more she learns about human nature, the harder it becomes to believe in simple love stories. Because when you see through the illusions, it's difficult to fall for them. Smart women often notice everything: the small inconsistencies, the words unsaid, the emotional micro-expressions that others miss. It's both a gift and a curse. Because when your mind runs deeper than most, you live in layers. You analyze the moment while you're in it. You predict outcomes while others just feel them. That ability makes you powerful, but it also makes connection complicated. Many intelligent women describe the same quiet truth: I can be in a room full of people and still feel completely unseen. Not because others don't care, but because few people can meet them where their mind lives. Their curiosity is vast, their standards are high, their conversations crave depth, but the world often rewards simplicity. And so the smarter she becomes, the smaller her circle gets. Intelligence can be intimidating, not because it's loud, but because it quietly exposes what's shallow. Most people want comfort, not confrontation. They want validation, not reflection. And so the intelligent woman, the one who sees the full picture, learns to hide her sharpness, to smile through the silence, to shrink herself so she can be relatable. But every time she does, something inside her fades. Here lies the paradox. The traits that make her exceptional, awareness, independence, emotional intelligence, are the same traits that make her feel alone. Because when you can solve every problem except the one in your own heart, loneliness becomes not just a feeling, but a form of understanding. But this isn't the end of her story. It's the beginning of understanding it. In the next chapter, we'll explore what her brain is actually doing, the biology of connection, and why intelligence sometimes rewires the way we love.
Every human mind, no matter how sharp, logical, or independent, is wired for one thing above all else: connection. Beneath intelligence, beneath logic, beneath every independent thought, lies a brain that evolved to survive through belonging. But what happens when the very brain that craves connection also overthinks it? Inside the brain, connection begins as chemistry. Every time you experience trust, laughter, eye contact, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It lowers fear, increases empathy, and signals, "You're safe here." Then comes dopamine, the reward chemical. It tells you, "This feels good, stay close." But here's the twist. In highly intelligent people, the same analytical regions that create insight can also interfere with emotional chemistry. Studies from the University of Cambridge show that individuals with high cognitive ability often engage the prefrontal cortex more during emotional situations. That means they process feelings like data, analyzing, comparing, questioning, instead of just feeling them. The brain's empathy and reward systems compete with its reasoning system, and when reason wins too often, connection loses its spark. Smart women don't lack opportunities for love or friendship. They struggle with the neurochemistry of trust. Because trust requires risk, it asks the brain to lower its guard, to suspend analysis, to let emotion lead. But for the analytical mind, risk equals danger. The same intelligence that solves problems starts scanning relationships for threats. Does he really mean that? Why did she say it like that? What's his intention? The result? Safety increases, but intimacy decreases. Over time, the brain adapts. Every time it overthinks vulnerability, it reinforces a loop. Connection equals potential pain. The amygdala, the brain's fear center, begins associating closeness with risk. So even when connection is offered, it feels heavy. The body tenses, the tone shifts, and opportunities for real warmth slip away. It's not that she doesn't want love, she aches for it. But her brain has learned a dangerous pattern: protect first, feel later. And when you live in that rhythm for too long, later never comes. Loneliness at its root isn't the absence of people, it's the absence of emotional safety. For intelligent women, safety doesn't come from promises, it comes from predictability. They crave depth, but they also fear the unpredictability that comes with it. And in that contradiction, the biological need for closeness and the intellectual need for control, loneliness is born. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper, beyond biology, into the social programming that teaches intelligent women to value strength over softness and perfection over connection. This is where loneliness stops being chemical and becomes cultural.
No one teaches a girl to hide her heart, but the world rewards her for doing it. From the first time she's praised for a perfect grade instead of emotional honesty, a quiet program begins to run in her mind. It tells her, be composed, be impressive, be in control. And she listens. Intelligent women learn early that success earns love faster than softness does. They are rewarded for logic, discipline, and performance, not for vulnerability. Every time she solves a problem, people say she's strong. Every time she cries, they call her dramatic. And so she builds her armor, one achievement at a time. By adulthood, she becomes the woman who can hold it all together, the one people depend on, the one who never asks for help. But inside, there's a quiet voice whispering, when do I get to just be? The trap isn't intelligence, it's conditioning. Society trains women to equate worth with performance, to believe love must be earned through competence, loyalty, and self-sacrifice. So even when someone loves her, she doubts it. Because deep down, she doesn't feel loved for who she is, only for what she does. Emotional vulnerability, the key to connection, becomes her greatest fear. She can manage a company, lead a team, solve impossible problems. But sitting still with her own feelings, that's terrifying. Because no one rewarded her for that. In her world, emotional need was weakness, and weakness had no medal. The cruel irony is that the smarter she became, the better she got at hiding the parts of herself that could actually connect her to others. Perfection became protection. Competence became camouflage. And the more she succeeded, the more invisible she felt. But here's the truth. No amount of logic can substitute for presence. Love isn't earned by performance, it's felt through permission. The permission to be seen, not as perfect, but as real. And until she unlearns that old programming, loneliness will always follow her success. In the next chapter, we'll explore what happens when intelligence meets intimacy and how fear of losing control can make even love feel unsafe.
Love is supposed to connect two people, but sometimes it highlights the distance between them. Not the distance of miles, but of minds. This is the quiet loneliness that highly intelligent women often face. Being surrounded by people, yet rarely feeling understood. It's not arrogance, it's not superiority. It's the simple math of compatibility. The sharper the mind, the smaller the pool of people who can meet it. Not just intellectually, but emotionally. Because intelligence isn't just about what you know, it's how you think, how you see, how you feel deeply, and question endlessly. And most people stop questioning long before she does. Psychologists call it asynchronous intimacy. It's when two minds operate on different emotional frequencies. Conversations feel mismatched. She wants to dive into depth, but he skims the surface. He wants peace, but her curiosity feels like interrogation. Neither is wrong. They're just tuned to different bandwidths. Intelligent women crave connection built on meaning, shared purpose, ideas, vision. But modern relationships are built on comfort. Comfort says, let's not talk about that now. Intelligence whispers, but that's exactly what we need to talk about. And every time she silences her curiosity to keep the peace, she loses a piece of herself. Many smart women hear those phrases their whole lives. You're too much. You think too deeply. Can't you just enjoy the moment? What people don't see is that her depth isn't a choice, it's wiring. Her brain forms connections faster, analyzes longer, and feels stronger. It's not intensity, it's intelligence expressing itself emotionally. Neurologically, meaningful conversation releases dopamine and oxytocin, the same chemicals tied to bonding and pleasure. For the analytical mind, shallow interaction doesn't trigger those circuits. So when she says, "I feel lonely, even in relationships," it's not poetic, it's biological. The intelligence gap isn't about IQ, it's about curiosity, awareness, and depth. The smaller that overlap, the lonelier the connection feels. Because being loved is easy. Being understood, that's rare. So she learns to dim her light, to simplify her thoughts, soften her words, pretend she doesn't notice contradictions. She tells herself that fitting in is easier than standing alone. But deep down, she knows the truth. The more she hides her mind, the lonelier her heart becomes. In the next chapter, we'll explore the hidden tension inside her, the battle between intellect and emotion, and how the fear of losing control can make even love feel unsafe.
The smartest minds often crave love the most, but they also fear it the deepest. Because real intimacy isn't logical. It doesn't follow the rules of reason or the comfort of predictability. It demands surrender. And for a woman who has built her life on control, surrender feels like danger. The paradox of intelligence is that it teaches you to solve problems, not to feel them. So when connection starts to get real, when vulnerability enters the room, her instinct isn't to open up. It's to analyze, to manage, to make sense of what she feels. But love doesn't want to be managed. Love wants to be felt. Neuroscience explains this clearly. When you fall in love, your brain temporarily reduces activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logic, judgment, and control. That's why love feels reckless.
That's why even smart people do irrational things. But if your identity depends on being composed and competent, this loss of control feels like drowning. The brain doesn't interpret intimacy as connection, it interprets it as risk. So she builds walls that look like independence. She says she's busy. She says she's focused. She says she's not ready. But what she really means is, I don't trust that I'll still be safe if I let someone all the way in. Emotional intimacy feels like losing control of the narrative, and for intelligent women, control is safety. For years, she's relied on her mind to protect her. Her logic became her armor. Her independence became her fortress. So when someone finally offers her love, her first instinct is to inspect the walls, not to open the gate. The tragedy is that hesitation is often mistaken for disinterest. He feels rejected. She feels misunderstood. But in truth, she's not rejecting him. She's rejecting powerlessness. Because for her, letting someone love her means giving them the power to hurt her. And that's the one thing she swore she'd never allow again. Intelligence makes her see everything clearly except herself. Because in her quest to stay safe, she forgot that control and connection can't coexist. You can't protect yourself and be fully known at the same time. One requires walls, the other requires windows. But awareness is the beginning of healing. When she realizes that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage, the walls begin to soften, and for the first time, the thing that once felt like danger begins to feel like peace.
When a man is ambitious, people call him driven. When a woman is ambitious, they call her difficult. The world still speaks two languages when it comes to strength, one that celebrates it in men and one that questions it in women. A man can lead without apology. He can be assertive, analytical, decisive, and it earns him respect. But when a woman carries those same traits, the applause grows quieter. Words like intimidating replace inspiring. Unapproachable replaces confident. From childhood, society tells girls to be kind, accommodating, likable. Then, in adulthood, it demands excellence, leadership, independence, but punishes the tone that comes with it. She's expected to be both powerful and pleasing, logical and nurturing, unshakable and soft, an impossible equation that even her intellect can't balance. So she learns early to edit herself, to make intelligence smaller, to smile when she disagrees, to hide brilliance behind humility. This is the double standard that quietly shapes her loneliness. Because every time she chooses likability over authenticity, she loses a piece of real connection. The message is subtle but constant. Be impressive but not intimidating. Be smart but not smarter than him. Speak up but not too much. And after years of adjusting to fit, she forgets what her unfiltered voice even sounds like. Society celebrates the idea of having it all, but it rarely mentions the cost: isolation. Because perfection is a lonely performance. The higher she climbs, the fewer people understand the air she breathes. She becomes both admired and alone. Success should be freedom, yet for her, it becomes a cage built from expectation. The moment she stops smiling, people whisper. The moment she shows vulnerability, they call it weakness. And so she learns to wear composure like makeup, another layer between her and the world. The truth is, the world still doesn't know what to do with a woman who's both smart and self-possessed. It praises her achievements, then punishes her for the confidence that made them possible. That contradiction isn't just cultural, it's psychological. Because belonging requires acceptance, and acceptance often requires compliance. When you can't be fully yourself in order to be accepted, loneliness becomes inevitable.
But the solution isn't to shrink, it's to redefine what strength looks like. Strength isn't silence, it's self-acceptance. And the moment she stops performing for comfort and starts living in truth, the isolation begins to crack. In the next chapter, we'll discover how science proves that emotional safety, not perfection, creates real connection. Because intelligence may build walls, but only vulnerability builds bridges.
Every pattern can be broken, even the ones that feel carved into our bones. Loneliness, fear, perfectionism. These aren't permanent traits, they're programs. And like any program, the brain can rewrite them. Modern neuroscience has a name for this: neuroplasticity. It means your brain isn't fixed, it's fluid, alive, constantly reshaping itself through experience. Every thought repeated becomes a pathway. Every emotion allowed becomes a bridge. The mind learns safety not through logic, but through consistency. When an intelligent woman begins to trust again, she's not just opening her heart, she's rewiring her nervous system. The same circuits that once fired in fear can be retrained to fire in peace. Every genuine conversation, every moment of being seen without judgment, teaches her brain connection doesn't mean danger anymore. This is what scientists call emotional safety, the neurological state where the body feels secure enough to stay open. It's the foundation of trust, intimacy, and healing. Without it, intelligence turns into analysis. With it, intelligence becomes empathy. Emotional safety starts small. A breath held for 1 second longer. A conversation where you don't defend, just listen. A moment where you admit, I don't have it all figured out. Each of those acts tells the brain, you're safe in this moment, you can let go. As the body feels safer, chemistry follows. Oxytocin increases. That's the hormone of trust. Cortisol decreases. That's the stress chemical of control. Slowly, the need to predict every outcome fades. Love stops feeling like chaos and starts feeling like calm. Real connection doesn't require perfection, it requires permission. Permission to be seen as flawed, human, emotional, and still enough. That's emotional safety, knowing you can be loved not for your performance, but for your presence. In the final chapter, we'll bring it all together. How intelligence, emotion, and vulnerability can coexist. And how embracing your full complexity might just be the key to ending loneliness forever. For years, she thought the problem was her mind, that she was too analytical, too independent, too hard to love. But intelligence was never the enemy. Isolation was. The truth is, the world needs women who think deeply, feel deeply, and live bravely. The loneliness she carried wasn't proof of being broken. It was the side effect of being awake in a world that values appearance over understanding. Every overthought word, every quiet night wondering if anyone could truly see her, every time she was told she was too much. It was never about being too much. It was about being too real for people still afraid of depth. Intelligence without connection creates clarity without warmth. But when she lets that clarity meet compassion, her intellect stops being a shield and becomes a light. Because wisdom isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing yourself and allowing others to know you too. The brain that once calculated every risk can learn to calculate something else: trust. The same neurons that fired in fear can fire in safety. The heart that built walls can become a bridge. Because connection doesn't require perfection, it requires honesty. And love doesn't punish intelligence. Real love values it. It sees your strength without fearing it. It meets your depth without drowning in it. It whispers, "You don't have to choose between being brilliant and being loved." The world once told her she had to shrink to belong. But now she knows the only way to belong is to expand, to be fully human, logical and emotional, brave and soft. That balance isn't weakness, it's evolution. So, to every intelligent woman who's ever felt alone, remember, your mind is not a burden. It's your gift. And when you finally allow it to meet your heart, that's not loneliness ending. That's wholeness beginning.